All right, we have some breaking news coming in as I speak. Another Pakistani terrorist has been caught alive. Now, the Pakistani terrorist was caught alive after an encounter with the army in Rafiabad in North Kashmir. 4 other Pakistani terrorists have also been killed. This is the latest coming out as we speak. This was while there was an encounter with the army that took place in North Kashmir. We've been told that a Pakistani terrorist has been caught alive and 4 others were killed. Now remember, this comes nearly a few weeks after Mohammad Naved, a Pakistani terrorist who has links with the Lashkar, was caught alive by villagers and then the police of Jammu and Kashmir. That's the latest emerging as we speak. There's another Pakistani terrorist caught alive. Details are sketchy as we speak. We don't know who the Pakistani terrorist has links with, but what we do know is that 4 others who were with him have been killed in that encounter with the army that took place in Rafiabad in North Kashmir, and one of the 5 has now been caught alive. Correspondent Shuja Al-Haq now joins in the phone line. Shuja, what details do we have? We know as of now that 4 of these terrorists have been killed while the 5th has been caught alive.
Yes, that's right. In fact, we just have exclusive information of the whereabouts of this particular, person who's been arrested. I am just told that his name is Sajad Ahmed, and his code name is Abu Ubaida, and he is believed to be from somewhere from Muzaffarganj, Baluch. That's what the sources just confirmed to me. So his name is Sajad Ahmed. His alias is believed to be Abu Ubaid, and he is believed to be somewhere from Baluch. That's what the information is trickling down. And he's been arrested in Rafiabad area of North Kashmir, where an encounter was going on since yesterday in the evening when a contact was established. So far, 2 militants have been killed in this, and this particular militant has been arrested. We've also been told that the forces are still carrying out searches and the operation is still on. As of now, the J and K police is saying that they're questioning this man. They are trying to figure out more information about him. They're trying to figure out how they were, infiltrated. What is it that their modus operandi for the infiltration was this time? So all this is being collated. But yes, this is, a breaking piece of news that we're getting. A militant named Sajad, believed to be somewhere from Baluch in Pakistan, has been arrested alive in an operation in North Kashmir's Rafiabad area.
Shuja, do stay with me. We also have Gaurav joining us live from the newsroom. Gaurav, the name of the Pakistani terrorist, as Shuja has just mentioned, is Sajad Ahmed. What are your army sources telling you about this second big catch within a month?
Oh, this is a massive catch. This was a joint operation that was mounted by the army and the special forces along with SOG of the J and K police. In fact, there were parallel encounters, and these encounters lasted overnight. The latest information that I'm just getting even as we speak, number of terrorists killed has gone up to 4. So there was a group of perhaps 4 to 5 terrorists who had infiltrated. They infiltrated from the Uri sector late yesterday. That is where infiltration was detected. The army was hot on their heels along with the J and K police. 1 terrorist has been arrested alive. 4 terrorists have been killed. There was an encounter that was on a parallel encounter close to the line of control. And there, the information that the terrorists perhaps fled back, but the combing operations are still underway, Vedika.
Right, do stay with me, Gaurav. Shuja is still with us. Shuja, what other information can you share with us? As of now, you've told us that the name of the terrorist who's been caught alive is Sajad Ahmed. We do know that he's from the Baluch region of Pakistan. And as Gaurav pointed out, they had infiltrated through the Uri sector. What else can you add to this massive development that has taken place?
That's right. It is a massive development, particularly coming at a time when the frequency of these operations has increased. In fact, as Gaurav was pointing out, there were 2 operations going on simultaneously, one in Uri, and then another contact was established in the jungle areas of Rafiabad. And this particular operation was in Rafiabad, where these militants were killed, while as one of them has been arrested. This arrested militant is becoming another key for the security agencies to establish the entire trail. As I was pointing out earlier, the police department is questioning this militant. We've been told that strict questioning is being done. He's been put through a series of questions as to to understand and establish the route that they had taken when they infiltrated, what was their modus operandi, how were they planning to carry out their operations in the region, and what was their motive from here on. So all these things will be established from the questioning that is being carried out at this point of time. But yes, this is the information that we've been able to bring out. Named Sajad, his code name is believed to be Abu Ubaid, and he is also believed to be from Baluch area in Pakistan.
Gaurav, and this comes at a time when the relationship between Pakistan and India remains fragile.
Absolutely. Tension between India and Pakistan high. There were a series of ceasefire violations. In fact, in the same sector, the army adjoining in Naugam, the army lost a junior commissioned officer in Pakistan sniper fire. And then there was this infiltration attempt. 5 terrorists, the army said, succeeded in infiltrating. Overnight operations, the army was hot on their heels. You know, the bigger picture here, Naved being arrested in Udhampur, carrying out a targeted operation to target a BSF bus, these terrorists infiltrating from North Kashmir, trying to reach a built-up area. All of this is indicative of Pakistan opening the terror tap once again. Infiltration attempts have gone up, encounters are increasing, local terrorists, they are being encouraged to come out with in bigger numbers. There's a latest infiltration input, that the army has got. One of the intercepts seems to indicate that local terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir seem to lack weapons, and more than weapons, they seem to be lacking ammunition. So that is something that is extremely critical. The push that is coming from Pakistan with these desperate terrorists coming in, they're coming in with larger number of ammunition to be able to give more ammunition to the local, jihadi factor. And the success that the army and the police seem to be getting is better surveillance, better equipment, and better vigilance, Vedika.
Gaurav, also intelligence agencies and inputs over the last few weeks have been talking about infiltration attempts that will be made by terrorists from the other side. You yourself, a few days ago, were at the line of control. Just take us through how the security has been stepped up.
You know, as far as the 770-kilometer long line of control is concerned, it's divided into 2 parts: south of Pir Panjal, Poonch, Rajouri, Mender, Bimbar Gali. That's south of Pir Panjal. North of Pir Panjal, it's extremely critical in Kupwara, in Lolab, in Uri sector. These are where the hotbed of infiltration. This time, there's just been a change of guard, and this is extremely crucial, Vedika. There's a new Corps commander who is just taken over in the Chinar Corps in Srinagar, and that's the time that terrorists and their handlers in Pakistan launch a probe mission to figure out the kind of mettle that the Corps commander has, the new leadership has, whether the army goes after these terrorists with the same vigor. And to the best of our knowledge and what we've been informed by our sources in the Chinar Corps, the army has one clear directive: not just to hit out at these terrorists who infiltrate, but also carry out, punitive strikes at the posts from where these terrorists are being pushed into the country, and there are ceasefire violations. There has been an adequate response to the killing of the JCO at the line of control in the Naugam sector, and now we see more infiltration. The intelligence inputs seem to indicate these infiltration attempts will only rise in the coming days and weeks, Vedika.
All right, Gaurav, I'll keep coming back to you for more, but this, like Gaurav even pointed out, and so did our correspondent Shuja Al-Haq, is a massive catch for the security forces, the army in Jammu and Kashmir. And coming back to you, Gaurav, just take us through the latest developments that have taken place. There are some details that are emerging on the identity of the Pakistani terrorist in question. Do we know of his links with any terror outfit yet? Just take us through what your army sources are telling you.
Not just as yet, a bit too premature, because just as we are breaking this story, just about 20-25 minutes ago, army sources and police sources in Jammu and Kashmir confirmed that a Pakistani terrorist has been caught alive and in a live operation. Now, this operation started yesterday. Rafiabad, once upon a time, was a terror hotbed. There is massive army presence in Rafiabad. The army, the special forces and the SOG of the J and K police, they mounted an operation last night. 1 terrorist had been killed last night itself. The army then outflanked these terrorists because they wanted to prevent them from escaping back into Pakistan. They surrounded these terrorists, and once again at first light this morning, operation started. 2 more terrorists were killed. And even just as we started speaking, I got an input from one of my sources who's participating in these operations that 2 more terrorists had been killed, and in all 4 terrorists had been killed and 1 terrorist had been caught alive. The terrorist who's been caught alive is a goldmine of information, and just as Shujaul Haq was telling us that Sajjad Ahmed, the terrorist who's been caught alive, he will give a lot of information about the kind of training these terrorists are getting. Like Naved was a goldmine of information about how terror leadership was slowly from Hafiz Mohammed Saeed gradually shifting to his son Talha for select operations. Hafiz Saeed remains the ideologue. Talha is the operations chief. Now, similarly, more such information will filter out of this terrorist Sajjad Ahmed, who's been caught alive, Vedika.
Also, Gaurav, if we can just look at the number of ceasefire violations in the month of August alone, as well as the infiltration bids that have happened, can we really draw a connection between the two?
Absolutely, you are spot on there, Vedika. Ceasefire violations, terrorist infiltration, all of this very well calculated and controlled by Pakistan's army. If you recall, in 2003, Pakistan sought a ceasefire because Pakistan wanted to concentrate on its northwest frontier. Now, once again, they're shifting pressure back on the eastern flank, and ceasefire violations suddenly intensified just when talks were to happen. The only difference this time is the punitive response that the army on ground tells us, and we travelled extensively south of Pir Panjal along the line of control. The punitive response of the Indian army has once again compelled the Pakistan army to try and shift focus north of Pir Panjal, where the current encounter has just taken place.
Gaurav, do stay with me. Let me just update our viewers who are just tuning in. The name of the Pakistani terrorist who has been caught, we believe, is Sajjad Ahmed. His code name is Abu Ubaidullah. His age is 22 years and he is a resident of Baluch in Pakistan, is what we're being told. Gaurav, this catch is as big as Naved.
Oh, absolutely, Vedika. This is a massive catch as far as security forces are concerned. If you recall, even in the past, the directive from the National Security Advisor, Ajit Doval, was try and catch Pakistani terrorists alive, because that is evidence of Pakistan's direct involvement in sponsoring terror in India. Naved was caught alive. This Sajjad being caught alive. This is direct evidence of Pakistani involvement. This is a terrain where there are no villages close to the line of control on the Pakistani side. The fact that terrorists are able to infiltrate, one, goes on to show the kind of help the Pakistan army provides them, and 2, the Pakistan army launches them just before the National Security Advisor talks. The Foreign Secretary, the Foreign Ministry had made it very clear there were more than 90 ceasefire violations from the Pakistani side. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj spoke of ceasefire violations from the Pakistani side and increased attempts at infiltration. The number of launch pads, 42 launch pads on the Pakistani side where these terrorists are waiting to infiltrate, something that Lieutenant General Subrat Saha, the co-commander who's just handed over charge, also spoke of, Vedika.
Do stay with me, Gaurav. Shujaul Haq is back on the phone line with us. Shuja, any latest updates that you can help us with?
Well, Vedika, this is, the latest information that we are getting is that he would be soon brought into a police station in near Rafiabad, where, because this operation was carried out in the jungle areas, there's very limited connectivity also in there. So they're bringing him back to a police station, nearby police station, where he would be further questioned by the police department. That's the information that we are getting. But as we were pointing out, the details that we've been able to bring out today, which is, in fact, we were the first ones to bring out the details and the identity of this person so far. He's been, we've been told that his name is Sajjad alias Abu Ubaid, and he is believed to be from somewhere from Baluch in Pakistan. He's a 22-year-old man, and he's believed to be part of this group, which consisted about 4 to 5 members, and had possibly crossed out from Uri area, and were planning to carry out further attacks in the hinterland. Before they could, reach the areas which were ahead of the jungles, they were intercepted, and that's how this entire operation began. Even as we speak, the operation is on. We've been told that the forces are carrying out searches. The cordon is still on in these areas, and suspecting that there could be more militants present. Though the gunfight is over, but the operation is still being carried out.
And Gaurav, perhaps over the next few days and weeks, there will be more pages added to that terror dossier. But the big question is, will Pakistan turn its head the other way again?
One thing is very clear. India cannot expect Pakistan to crack down on India-centric terror. Pakistan hasn't done that under intense international pressure. They briefly did that post-26/11. But now, as far as Pakistan and training terrorists is concerned, it's back to business as usual. We've seen that in the number of ceasefire violations. We've seen that in the training that terrorists like Naved have been given. The fact that Naved was told to go to India and hit out at security forces, target members of a particular community, to create disturbance in India, all of that, Sajjad, the terrorist who's been caught alive today, his interrogation will reveal perhaps similar stuff, where they are undergoing training, what kind of training, the number of people who are undergoing training with them, and the number of people who are successfully infiltrating with them. The number of attempts are much higher. Even with Naved, there were 18 other people who'd infiltrated before him. 5 had infiltrated with him. Similar is the instance in this case. 5 terrorists infiltrated, 4 were killed, 1 fortunately arrested. And this is living proof of Pakistan continuing to sponsor terror in India, Vedika.
All right, Gaurav and Shuja, do stay with me. I also have editor Shiv Arur joining me on the phone line from the newsroom. Shiv, 25 days, 2 Pakistani terrorists caught alive, 2 big catches for India.
Huge catches for India, Vedika, and also an indication that, no matter which way operations actually go, the level of violence and engagement that Pakistan is keeping up is not about to dwindle anytime soon. That's the big message from this. 2 big encounters. One taking place, as Gaurav just pointed out, in Nogam yesterday, where 1 terrorist was killed. The Indian Army also lost, a junior commissioned officer day before yesterday, and the other encounter and manhunt taking place in the Rafiabad area of Jammu and Kashmir, where this particular terrorist has now been captured alive. Incredible success for the armed forces to be able to capture another Pakistani terrorist alive. He's been identified as Sajjad Ahmed, alias Abu Ubaidullah. He's apparently a native of the Muzaffargarh district of Pakistani Punjab. Apparently 22 years old, according to the initial information we're getting from our reporter Shujaul Haq on the ground in Srinagar. He's in touch with the cutting edge of this operation, the people leading it, as well as the intelligence agencies that are tracking every development. Enormous breakthrough as far as Indian agencies are concerned, because this proves 2 things, as Gaurav pointed out.
Yes.
And I just wanted to highlight that, Vedika. A, that we've got even more evidence, material evidence now of what Pakistan is trying to do. And B, despite the diplomatic engagement, the NSA level talks, even if they had actually collapsed, and the overall sort of impulse that India has to try and reach out to Pakistan, the simple fact of the matter is that terror simply continues. Pakistan may, try and prevaricate and obfuscate the information and data that India gives it, but at the end of the day, the fact is terrorists like Sajjad Ahmed, like Naved are being pushed into India. They're being infiltrated with the active support of the Pakistan armed forces. And here's another living, talking example of what India has been saying all along.
Do stay with me, Shiv, because we also have Mr. Khajuria, former DGP J, Jammu and Kashmir, joining me on the phone line. Mr. Khajuria, thank you so much for speaking with India today. It's the second big catch that we're talking about within 25 days. How do you look at this huge development that has taken place in the state of Jammu and Kashmir?
This is a very, very, very welcome development, and it should be a signal to Pakistan that this mischief is not going to result to succeed. The real question that arises now is that we will probably have to switch over our policy from being reactive to proactive. The areas in which these people are holed up and those areas from which they are coming in, they need to be given more attention, and we must go after them and clean these areas, so that Pakistan is not able to pursue its nefarious designs and create problems for us.
And also, Mr. Khajuria, while Pakistan has completely abandoned the claim that India is making of these terrorists being linked to Pakistan, do you see a connection between the rise in ceasefire violations in the month of August alone and the infiltration bids that are taking place?
Yeah. Pakistan, you cannot expect Pakistan to be truthful. Denial has been their standard that will be right from day one, from 1947 itself. And we have to ensure that the world gets to know about the real truth. And now that we have these two persons with us, they are a standing testimony, and what we get out of them is something that the world would like to know, and it will have credibility that Pakistan lacks and will continue to lack.
All right, Mr. Khajuria, thank you so much for speaking with India today. Coming back to Gaurav Sawant, who's still with us. Gaurav, you were talking about two parallel encounters that were taking place, after which we see the army coming out with this big arrest. Just take us through those details.
Vedika, this is a massive success for the army and the security forces in Uri and in Naugam. There were two parallel encounters that were taking place. There were inputs of 5 to 6 terrorists having infiltrated from across the line of control in the Uri sector. The army had launched an unmanned aerial vehicle. This is a forested area where these operations were taking place, and the army wanted to ensure that terrorists do not escape in the forest and from there into the built-up area, because this area is about 2 hours from Srinagar, 100 odd kilometers from Srinagar. So one terrorist was neutralized last night itself. 3 more killed today, and one terrorist has been captured alive. Sajjad is his name. Abu Ubaida is his code name, and from what security forces tell me, he is now going to be interrogated by the army and the IB at the military location where he is.
All right.
And then subsequently he'll be brought to Sri.
All right, so those are the details that we can bring to you here from India today. As far as that massive catch is concerned, Gaurav Sawant, Shuja Al-Haq and Shivarur bringing you the latest. We will be slipping to a short break, but we'll return with all the big stories and developments in moments from now.